Welcome everyone for this webinar. We will give a couple of minutes of time for everybody else to join and then we'll get started. So meanwhile, why don't we start with a little bit of introduction about each. So what about you, Meet Patel?
Hello.
Hi Meet.
Hi, how are you?
Good. So
Uh,
why don't we
yeah,
have a quick intro about yourself so that the webinar can be quite effective.
this is Meet Patel from the India, but I'm living in the Canada, and I'm recently completed the computer engineering from the Charusat University, which is located in the Surat, Gujarat.
Mhm.
And I'm currently looking for the job and new opportunity for in the IT background.
So you are in job search now in
Yeah,
Canada.
yeah.
Okay. And we have Jason. So Jason, why don't you have a quick introduction about yourself?
Hi, sir. I'm Jason. How are you, sir?
Good.
Yes, sir. So I studied data analytics for business in St. Clair College, Windsor,
Mm-hmm.
and even I was looking for the like business analyst side towards it, and I'm actually more keen towards business analyst side. So I wanted to gain more knowledge, and I'm looking for like searching for job currently.
Okay. And what about you, Pawan?
Hey, hi. Yeah, I did my PG here. I did finance and bachelor's
Mm-hmm.
certificates. And then from past 2 years, I'm working in QA.
Mm-hmm.
I took training for BA, but it's not that helpful to crack jobs. So I'm just seeing how
Oh,
to
so
search
you're
for
already a
helpful. And
QA in Canada and you're planning
yeah, yeah.
for BA
Planning to
opportunity.
switch.
But why like that? You're already a QA?
I don't like it because even before QA, I'm into BA, but I didn't. I'm unable to crack the job. Somehow I got into QA.
Mm-hmm.
Now I don't like it. I don't see any growth here. I'm trying to switch to the full Devops or BA.
So you became a QA by accident and you are
Yeah.
passionate about BA. Is that what it means?
Not exactly BA. I explored other stuff as well, like BA as a business system analyst, and then I I took training for BI as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for now I'm just trying to switch. It might be BSA or DevOps. That's what I'm looking for.
Okay. So let us organize this webinar in a Q&A kind of a model. So if you guys have any questions related to BA and QA roles, feel free to ask me. And in the process, I'll be answering your question. And also, if there is any additional information that is needed which aligns with the BA QA jobs, I'll be adding that as well.
So sounds good.
Yeah, so feel free to shoot out your questions in a round robin way. Let's start with Jason. Jason, do you have any specific question on BA and QA?
Uh, so, uh, just wanted to know, uh, like I've seen like various YouTube videos, and they say like you have to be good in Jira, then Confluence, and what are other tools which we need to be know, sir, like which will we be using in work, like while we're working. So, just wanted to know more about it.
Okay, so just to rephrase your question is for a person to become a BA, what are the tools and technologies that you should be quite aware of? Is that
Yes, sir.
what it means? Okay. Okay, good, sure. So for a BA is more of a, 1 minute, I'll close this. BA is more of a client-facing role, okay, which is mainly interacting with the client for a requirements gathering. That is the primary job of a BA. At the same time, the BA is also supposed to validate the requirements and also validate the outcome of the development matching the requirements before sending it to the client. So this is the main role and responsibility of a BA. So for a BA, the tools and technologies that he or she should be aware of is number one, requirements gathering. Number two, use case modeling or any use case modeling tools like RUP. Number 3, he or she should be knowing Excel very well, because most of the requirements, if they are not using any tools, they need to use Excel pretty well. And BA also is supposed to know testing to some extent, like user acceptance testing, which is most of the times manual. BA also should be knowing how to test the database, which means he or she should be knowing queries, how to write queries. And at the last, BA should be knowing the data analytics also, either Power BI or Tableau. So these are the primary requirements typically the BA needs. Again, to summarize, requirements gathering, modeling tools, user acceptance testing, data analytics, and little bit of SQL. And when it comes to the tools part, the BA should be knowing Atlassian tools like Confluence and Jira. So if a professional knows all these things, then he or she can become a very successful BA.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
So this, like all the documentation which we have done, so it will be next sent to like some developers or some other teams, so that they can use the like documentation to develop the like the project or the app or something, sir.
Exactly. That's correct.
Okay, sir. Thanks, sir.
Yeah. Meet Patel, do you have any questions about BA or QA?
No, sir.
Okay. Teja?
So, sir, from my perspective, there's a thin line between BA and QA. So, mostly I had interacted with BAs who are into data warehousing side. So, as you said earlier, they the thing which QA is not doing and the BA is doing is gathering the requirements and designing the requirements. And apart from that, I think both the roles carry similar similar activities for day-to-day life. Uh, for on this point, for how much do you agree, sir?
No, there is a thin line between a BA and a QA is not an accurate statement. There is actually a very thick line. The roles and responsibility of BA are completely different. The roles and responsibilities of QA are also completely different. Okay. So typically a BA needs domain knowledge to collect requirements by interacting with the client. For example, if there is a banking project that is getting executed, they need a BA who knows banking domain knowledge, so that he can talk to the client in the banking language and gather all banking project related requirements. So the primary requirement of a BA is to know domain knowledge, whereas a QA doesn't need a domain knowledge. If he has domain knowledge, that will add a lot of value in his testing, but knowing the domain knowledge is not mandatory for a QA. Number one. Number two, a BA will interact with developers to cascade the requirements that are collected from the client, which are also approved by the organization, so that the same requirements can be executed by the development teams. Whereas a QA will take whatever the requirements that are developed, they will go ahead with the testing. So BA will interact both with the development team in giving the software development requirements, and BA will also interact with the QA teams in giving the test requirements or functional and non-functional requirements. So again, there is no match. BA and QA are completely different. And third, QA will be working on end-to-end testing, whereas a BA will be working only on user acceptance testing or a customer acceptance testing. Again, here it is also completely different. And fourth one is The set of tools that BA should know are different. Like we have seen SQL query writing, Tableau or Power BI dashboard, and a little bit of Excel and Atlassian Jira and Atlassian Confluence. Whereas a QA should know both QA concepts. He should know some of the automation tools like Selenium, JMeter, SOAP UI, Postman, and QA should also know Jira because that is where he will be logging his defects, and also know Confluence. Again, here there is not much matching. So to summarize the answer for your question, Teja, I think there is not thin line, there is a very thick line, and the roles and responsibilities are completely different. The common things are only, if you ask me, user acceptance testing, which are done both by BA and also both by QAs.
Thank you, sir. So in this webinar, I'm interested to see the transition, how to transition from QA to BA. I'm interested to see what is the roadmap. So I'll stick till end of the call.
Okay, so yeah, again, this is, I think one guy is getting transitioned from BA. Who is that? I think it is Jason, who already have a QA job. So transitioning from QA to BA or BA to QA might not be a very successful career transformation, if you ask me. If it is inevitable, they can do it. But if you are already a QA, becoming a BA might not be very much helpful to your career unless you want to escape some of the automation testing. And vice versa. If you are a successful BA, transitioning yourself into your QA might not be helpful much in terms of a career, either in the pay wise or in the roles and responsibilities wise. So I generally do not suggest a BA to become a QA and vice versa, QA to become a BA. Both have a different career paths. For example, if you are a BA, your career path will be, you can become a BA, you can become an agile scrum master, you can become a junior project manager, and a project manager, and a senior project manager. This is one line. The other line would be BA, agile scrum master, product owner, and director of agile operations. That is another career path. This is for a BA. When it comes to QA, the one technical career path can be, a QA can become a DevOps engineer, a DevOps engineer can become a DevOps lead, a DevOps lead can become uh, DevOps manager. This is a technical path. For a non-technical path, QA can become a QA lead, QA lead can become a QA manager, and QA manager can become uh, like a director of QA. So this is the management path for a QA. But my advice would be not to shift from QA to BA or from BA to QA, because they both have different career paths.
Interesting answer, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Let's go with the question from Syed. Syed, do you have any specific questions?
Good morning. Thank you very much for asking me. I'm just curious about I have done my PMP,
Mm-hmm.
so I have IT background a long time, like infrastructure and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, did the managerial, senior manager role and all that. But at this point, uh, is it what's the path? I'm just little bit confused after doing all that, managing the projects, not really doing the projects, like managing the project managers and all that. At this point, what's the path to go back
So I can get
as
your
the technical thing?
if you tell me what you are currently doing. Are you currently in an IT domain doing some managerial job? What is your current role?
Yeah, I just finished. Like uh, I got laid off like recently as a manager IT
Mhm.
in a company. So, but it's hard to get at this senior manager kind of thing,
Mhm.
So to be honest, like I don't know, I manage BAs and QAs and all that. It's under my like domain, but uh, to go at that path at this point of my life is what you suggest.
Since you are PMP certified and since you have managed the BAs and QAs in the past,
Yeah,
aligning to the topic of this webinar, what I can suggest you is to become a QA manager.
yeah.
Manager needs a PMP certification, which you already have. And why QA manager means because you also have earlier experience of managing QAs in the past. So, which
Yeah,
is
also I'm in the process of a Scrum Master
mm,
training.
mm,
So next week I'm setting a Scrum Master
mhm,
certification too. Yeah.
mm. Yeah. So that is one path. The another path can be you can still continue to search for infrastructure management roles, IT project manager roles, and
Interesting.
agile way of path should be you can become a product owner or an agile coach. Scrum master would be less than your current level, so I don't suggest scrum master, but becoming a product owner or an agile coach would be more appropriate one for you.
Okay. Thank you. I'll set with one-on-one with you sometime next week.
Mhm.
Then we'll discuss more. You can just continue. Thank you.
Yeah, let's somebody Jansi. Yeah, what is your question?
Hi, Ramambu. Actually, I recently moved to Canada.
Mhm.
Earlier, I was with ICICI Bank for 9 years, doing all the trade operations and trade finance operations. Recently, I've completed my Scrum Master and also Product Owner certification from scrum.org.
Mhm.
Now I'm currently looking for business analyst roles. I was just hearing your call, and you were giving the roadmap for BA. Like first you be a BA, and then you become a Scrum Master, and then the product owner. However, I've completed both the certifications, but I'm trying to. I don't have the working experience as such, so I'm not able to crack or get any breakthrough currently in Canada. So like how should I approach, or how should I you know get a first job here, like.
So tell me in sequential order from the beginning of your career till now, what roles you have done?
So for 9 years, I was with ICICI Bank, where I was a customer service executive, like where the customer comes, gives their transactions. We will be processing their trade transactions. Basically, I deal only with the corporate clients, and then eventually within the banking, I became the team leader, and then. Later on, I moved as a relationship manager in MNC Group, so I was more onto the business side. And then I was part of some projects like the UAT testing and stuff like that, so I knew knowledge of how the projects work. And then I actually moved to Infosys as a domain consultant for 4 months, but I had to quit it because I got opportunity to pursue my masters in UK. So I took a break, I pursued my masters, and then now I moved back to Canada. So now here I'm trying to search for a job.
Okay, understood. So the answer to your question, Jhansi, is since you have worked in the banking domain in the past,
Mhm.
going for a BA role would be most appropriate role for you when it comes to IT, unless you wanted to settle in the banking job here also. But the reason why I suggest to go for a BA into IT side is because BAs, as I said earlier, need domain knowledge. And since you have worked in the banking domain in the past, you will have definitely a lot of banking domain experience. And roughly about 40% of the market and IT jobs, especially in the BA side, are from banks. So your profile in the past would be a very good one for banks to become a BA. So they will love to have you on board as a BA because of your past banking experience. All you need to do is you need to ramp up your skills on what a typical BA needs, like software requirements gathering techniques, a little bit of SQL knowledge, knowing about Jira and Confluence, and a little bit of knowledge on diagramming part like use case diagrams and all, and also a little bit of knowledge on user acceptance test. So if you ramp up the skills on that and supported by your past banking experience, you will be a very good fit for BA roles in banks.
uh, uh, as suggested by you, I've been working on the theoretical concepts. Like I've been going through multiple videos, reading a lot, or doing some Udemy courses just to get that knowledge. But as I said, it's only the theoretical knowledge that I'm having, but not the practical knowledge. So I'm not sure how far. I mean, I've been applying for jobs here for the past 3 months now, but I haven't got any breakthrough yet. So what
Yeah,
else
you
should I
have
do?
to remember in the past, you are not into hardcore IT, you are
Yes.
into hardcore banking. So when you are doing transitioning from hardcore banking to hardcore IT, self-learning is not going to help you in any way. You need to take professional training, especially if you wanted to become a BA. Please take professional training as a BA. You need
Okay.
to get hands-on. The reason why hands-on is a must is because, let's say, for example, you will study about requirements gathering, right?
Right.
But in the interviews, typically, what do they ask you? They will give you a case study and they will ask you to tell you how you do the requirements gathering. So unless you have hands-on experience on taking a use case or taking a case study and writing the requirements by following requirements elicitation methods, there are 5 or 6 requirements elicitation methods. Unless you do it in action, you'll not be able to confidently talk about requirements gathering in the actual interview. Interviewers are very well trained to catch hold of people to see whether they have hands-on experience or not. So perhaps you might be losing opportunities in that sense. My suggestion would be, don't just rely only on self-learning. Take professional training as a BA. If possible, get certified in BA also. Certification is not mandatory, but it will increase your psychological confidence. Just
Yes.
spend 2 months on professional training and see the results from the third month. You will definitely land into a job.
Surely. All right. Thank
And
you.
one more thing, in the comment section, in the chat box of this webinar, I have posted a form where you can fill in your name, email ID, and phone number, and the role that you are, looking for. So it helps us to keep a track of who is attending, so that I'll be able to serve you better in the future if you need me. So feel free to. I have posted the form in the comment box. Okay, let's go to the next question. Who has any specific questions? Unless we go in a round robin way. Rajesh, do you have any questions related to becoming a BA or a QA?
So I was just wondering on the turmoil in the job market. Uh, so in the sector which we are speaking right now, how is it going to be in the coming days?
Come again? I quite did not understand your.
So I was just thinking on the turmoil in the IT market, which we see presently, a lot of layoffs and everything.
Mhm.
The opportunities or the sustainability in the market, how is it going to be?
So, you're asking about BA and QA roles, right?
Yes, sir.
Sustainability in the market, that is a very good question. So QAs are needed everywhere. Okay, that is a universal fact. Okay, and so any software job, any software development exists, there will automatically be a QA needed. Okay, that is number one. But the number of QA jobs recently have drastically come down with the emergence of DevOps engineers. That's why in one of the career path, I have mentioned DevOps being the next role which a QA can take so that he can sustain in the market. But if you still continue to want to become a QA only, then the sustenance will decrease because the number of QA jobs keep decreasing day by day with the emergence of automation technologies like DevOps. Okay, and it is also a universal fact that everybody to sustain in the market, they need to upgrade their knowledge every now and then. But QA jobs keep existing every time as long as the IT software development jobs exist. So sustenance is not going to be difficult, but you need to keep upgrading your knowledge. That is for QA. BA jobs, not all companies hire BAs. Only big enterprises will hire BAs, but not everyone. So the sustenance of a BA in the market is going to be relatively lesser unless you wanted to become another role in BA. So unless you ramp up your skill on a BA and become and go to the next role, the sustenance is going to be difficult. And also switching jobs between BA is also extremely difficult if you don't upgrade your knowledge.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so that is from you, Rajesh. And who has any specific question? If not, we'll go in a round robin way. Jason, what is the all duties of Scrum Master? Is it different from business system analyst responsibilities? I will not be discussing all the duties of Scrum Master because it will be out of scope of this discussion. But I will be discussing the second point. Is it different from business system analyst? Okay, Scrum Master and business system analyst are completely different. Number one, business analyst and also business system analyst is also completely different. So both are completely different. Business analyst need to know only the domain knowledge and the business part of it, whereas a business system analyst is expected to know both the domain knowledge and also the technical knowledge. So a technical BA is called as a BSA, whereas a non-technical BA is called as a normal BA. And these two are completely different from Scrum Master. Next question. Which certificate is good for becoming a QA? Okay. As I said, to become a QA, having certification is not mandatory. Okay. But if you have certification, you will be confident by yourself that you are quite certified and you know so and so technologies. So to answer your question, you have ISTQB certification that is needed for becoming a QA in North America. Does that answer your question, Meet Patel?
Okay.
Okay. What is the next question? Okay, let's go in a round robin way. Bhavya?
Hi, I'm actually new here. I wanted to know like how I can become BA. I have supply chain management degree from Conestoga, but
Mhm,
I did my bachelor's in petroleum engineering. Like it's kind of complicated though.
mhm. Okay, so you did supply chain management course here in Canada, and in the past you have worked on which technology?
I didn't work on any technology. As soon as I'm graduated, I came here and I did this course here, and I graduated. I am graduated in like pandemic. I didn't have any job, but right now I'm working as a purchasing assistant.
Mhm. Okay, so you seem to have a very good communication skills, so which means it is a plus point for you to become a BA.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely you can become a BA if you wanted to pursue you don't have a domain knowledge, but you have a theoretical knowledge on supply chain management. So which means you would be a good fit for BA roles in supply chain management. That is number one. But it doesn't roll you out for other BA roles also. So for you to become a BA, you need to get trained on uh, BA related roles and responsibilities like requirements management, get trained on user acceptance testing, data modeling, data analytics tools like Power BI or a Tableau, Excel tool, Confluence, and Jira. So if you learn all these things and combined with your supply chain management domain experience and your very effective communication skills, you can become a BA in the next like 3 to 4 months.
Okay, that sounds promising, but how can I proceed with the course that you suggested, like whatever that you were
Get trained
suggesting?
in professional, get professionally trained in BA. If you need any training help, let me know. You can fill that form. I'll get back to you on what kind of training I can offer you. But take a professional training for 2 months, and then you can become BA. Job search will take 2 months. So 2 months of training and 2 months of job search. So within 4 months, you can become a successful BA.
Okay, but is it the right time to discuss like how much money should I like be ready with to start with the course and everything?
This might be out of the scope of this discussion, but
Okay.
again, I'll type in here. So if you wanted to have a one-on-one discussion with me, you can schedule a call with me at, I posted that link as well. You can go to that link ncplconsulting.net and schedule a call with me. We can have one-on-one discussion, and I will clarify all your questions specific to your job. And here I would like to, point out one thing. The BA jobs and QA jobs are quite popular in the market. The reason why they are very popular in the market is because they don't necessarily need a very highly coding knowledge, which is why many people who are into non-IT domains or non-IT education or non-IT background, they prefer to become BAs and QAs. Okay, so entry wise, it is quite okay. But when it comes to job search, because of a very high competition from non-IT segment, you will see that the roles, both these roles are quite saturated in the market. In fact, the number of jobs and the number of job seekers ratio is like 1:300 currently, which means for one QA or BA job, we have about 300 job seekers competing. Okay, which is why I term this as a very saturated role, either a BA or a QA. So unless you are solid in communication skills and solid in the tools and technologies which I mentioned just now, I suggest not to dare to become a QA and a BA. Especially for a BA, proper communication skills are a must, non-negotiable. The reason being, a BA will be interacting with the client, and when you interact with the client, you need to have a client-facing skills and very good communication skills. So if by any chance you have very less communication skills, don't try to become a BA. It is waste of an effort, even though you learn all the tools and technologies. Okay. Now coming to a QA. Coming to a QA, QA is also a very saturated role in the market. Again, 1:300 kind of a competition. Many people think that QA is for people who are into no coding. QA is a zero coding job, but that is a myth. Okay, QA will have a lot of coding, let me tell you. So if you are doing only manual testing, then obviously you don't need any QA knowledge. But to clear a QA interview, only your manual testing experience or manual testing training is not going to be enough. You need to know little bit of coding knowledge in Java and in Java or C Sharp, because you need to learn the automation skills, either Selenium, JMeter, Postman, SOAP UI, TestNG, Cucumber. Okay. So ironically, people ask a lot of questions on this automation tools, even though the actual job may not be in the automation. 80% of the QA jobs are manual only, but 80% of the interviews that happen for QA job are covering automation. So at least to get into the QA job, learning automation tools is inevitable and is a must. So Do not think that QA job is only for people who cannot do coding. Coding is definitely needed for QA roles. So for Bhavya, the reason why I suggested BA for you is because you have very good communication skills.
Okay, thank you. I'll look forward to the course that you offer.
Yeah. And let's go to any questions before I go to somebody else.
Yeah, so hi, this is Jay here.
Yeah, Jay.
Yeah, so I'm basically on to e-commerce side. I'm not into IT at all. I am a guy with MBA with marketing, and I have experience with client servicing. So one of my recent job was with India Mart. So I was in client servicing. So it's a B2B e-commerce portal. And after that, I have moved to Amazon for 1 year, and there also I'm having the role of client servicing. So we are basically interacting with the clients, and so I do have the domain knowledge of e-commerce, but not the IT side. And I recently moved here like before 2 3 months. So I just wanted to confirm which field would be more preferable for me if I want to choose an IT, QA or BA.
So you have e-commerce experience from the business side of e-commerce, right?
Yes, yes,
Okay. And you are asking me what is an appropriate IT role for you.
yeah.
So the topic is actually, we covered that topic last week, but to answer your question, it should not be either a QA or a BA.
Oh, okay.
It should be something else. But since that topic is out of the scope of this webinar, I'm not covering that. But if you wanted to have a very one-on-one discussion to discuss what is the appropriate role that fits to your skill set, feel free to set up an appointment with me. I have put the meeting link, the calendar link in the comment section of this meeting, so you can go through that and set up a meeting with me.
Sure. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Sri Ramani, do you have any specific question? You can ask here.
Hello, sir. I'm
Yeah.
just wondering, you were talking about the coding, right? So how much coding do we need? How much depth do we need for QA?
That's a very good question. I would say the level of coding that typically a QA needs is somewhere between basic and intermediate.
Okay, so are we getting trained to that expectations then?
Yeah.
So
So
that
for
means we can.
example, if you need to write as a QA, since you also need to do some automation testing, you need to learn a little bit of coding, which helps you to write those automation scripts. Many of these tools which are used in testing are driven by either Java or .NET. So you should be knowing coding knowledge on Java or coding knowledge on .NET, either a C# .NET or a VB.NET.
So if we are completely from non-IT background, so how can we do that?
Yeah, there is no other way except to learn that programming. But
Okay.
since
I
luckily,
was wondering, are you guys gonna train us enough to get in, or you know what I mean?
yeah, we'll be training you on. I do not want to discuss business here, but we'll be training you on both the Java coding skill and also the automation tools like Selenium,
Yeah.
SoapUI, JMeter,
Like,
Postman, and
do you
database.
train? Do you guys train with the Python or no?
No.
Okay.
Python is a very big ocean. We generally do not train that. And from the trend I have seen, many of the QA jobs doesn't need Python. Some QA roles ask for Pythons, but we have seen the trend. People are asking more of Java or .NET when it comes to automation testing.
Okay. How about SQL with this? Do we need to learn? Because I have no
Yes.
idea about SQL too.
SQL is needed because QA is expected to do database testing, which means you need to write queries to verify some of the output.
So we're gonna get enough information for that too as well.
Correct.
Okay, perfect. All right, thanks. You answered my question.
I have seen only 6 people filled the form. So can everybody who joined this webinar fill the form, please? Because that will keep a track of how many have joined and who have joined, and that way it will be very helpful for me to interact with them if they need me. The form is posted here. Let me post it so that it will be top of your messages. Yogesh?
Yeah, I don't have any questions on BA or QA, but just want to know. I'm just planning to learn DevOps. Don't have any background experience in the IT.
Mm-hmm.
Just taking some time to understand everything, and then I'll get back to you about my future plans.
Okay.
Me
Sure.
and my wife both are planning to go for one course. We are from the BTech Computer Science background, so I just will get back to you. Thank you.
Okay. Pavan?
Nothing specific to BA, but BA. Sorry, I want to know how the transition will be from QA to DevOps.
How do you transition from QA to DevOps? So good
Yeah.
question. So as I explained in one of the answer for the previous question, the technical route or a career path for a QA is, I myself, I'm a QA in the past, but I transitioned myself into DevOps after being a QA. So if you are a QA, then becoming a DevOps engineer is a right technical career path for you. So how means there is no other way except to get trained in DevOps. If you are a QA, while doing your QA job, get trained in DevOps. For DevOps, you need to learn about 10 plus tools to become a very successful DevOps person. So while you are doing your QA job, spare some time in learning some of the tools like Jenkins, Azure DevOps, learning at least one cloud, um, learning about at least one administration, either Linux administration or Windows administration, learning at least one scripting, either Bash scripting or PowerShell scripting, learning about Terraform, uh, Ansible, Docker, Kubernetes. So these are all the DevOps is mostly a tool-based technology. So if you are able to learn those tools quite confidently and try giving interviews in DevOps, you'll be able to easily transition from DevOps to to QA to DevOps. The very first tool that you should know is Jenkins. If you cover Jenkins, you are 50% DevOps.
Yeah, got it. Sounds good. I'll set up one on this to discuss more about it.
Okay.
Thank you.
What about Prasad? Prasad, do you have any specific questions on QA and BA?
Yes, sir. One question I have. For QA, if I wanted to change the career path, which one is the better, either DevOps or Azure Data Engineer?
I would generally suggest to go for DevOps.
DevOps. Okay. So
Azure
will you
Data
provide?
Engineer, yeah, Azure Data Engineer is completely different to QA or DevOps. So really, your QA knowledge is not going to help you when you become a Azure DevOps engineer, Azure Data Engineer. But if you are a QA, if you take up DevOps, then your QA skill will be definitely be able to help you when you become a DevOps engineer. So my suggestion would be go for DevOps instead of an Azure Data Engineer.
Okay. Thank you, sir. And will you provide any training for DevOps?
Yes, there are some trainings going on for DevOps currently.
Yeah, sure. Can you please share the details? Sir? What is the timelines and what is the duration?
Yeah, so you need to set up an appointment. I gave you the link in the chat section. So feel free to set up an appointment and you'll be able to talk to me for 30 minutes and I'll be able to guide you in detail.
Sure. Sure. Thank you very much.
Okay. And one thing I wanted to tell you all here is I will tell the question and also answer. Is a BA role good for freshers? Okay. The answer is yes, provided you have very good communication skills and you have very good domain knowledge in one of the domains that you have worked in the past. And number three, you ramp up your skill set on some of the technologies which I told you in the previous section of this call to become a BA. So for freshers, BA is a good role to go for, provided you meet all the three requirements in Canada. Okay. number two, is QA a good role for freshers? The answer is no. Yeah, QA is not a good role for freshers in Canada. The reason being, just now I told you, QA is a very saturated role in Canada. Same is the case of a BA. Since it is highly saturated, so many people are competing for one job, 1:300. Because of high competition, the time it takes to get a job in QA for a fresher is extremely high, somewhere around 4 months to 6 months after getting trained. So if you are very patient enough to wait from 4 to 6 months of time to become a QA job, then you can opt for it. But don't opt for QA jobs if you are a fresher. That is my advice. But again, nothing is impossible. Anybody can achieve anything. But in a generic sense, if you are a fresher and if you wanted to pursue a career in QA in Canada, then don't go for it. Instead, go for any other high demand technology, but not QA. QA in Canada is strictly for those who have past QA experience, either manual or in automation. That way, the time it takes to land in a QA job in Canada is very little compared to the time it takes for a fresher to land in a QA job. That is number one. Another point I wanted to discuss, since we have only 6 minutes, is how is the pay for a BA and a QA? Okay. Both the jobs are low paying jobs in Canada. Okay. So do not think that you will be very highly paid if you become a QA or a BA. For a BA, the salary ranges from 60,000 to 80,000 for anybody with 1 to 3 years of experience. Above 3, it all depends on how you negotiate. But if your experience is anywhere between 0 and 3, the salary range that you can expect as a BA in Canadian job market is 60,000 to 80,000. Okay, that is for a BA. And what is the salary range for a QA? The salary range for a QA is, for a QA fresher, the salary range is between 45K and 65K. It's a full-time job. But if it is something like 1 to 3 years of experience as a QA, then your salary range is going to be from 50,000 to 70,000. So this is the salary range for a QA. So that is why I'm saying that QA jobs and BA jobs, even though they look very lucrative when it comes to the entry side of the things, because they don't need much of the coding language, the salary range that it takes to become a BA or a QA is very less in the market. So does anybody has any questions on these two topics that I discussed? Okay, once again, feel free to fill the form or schedule a call with me. Both the things are posted here in my chat section. That way I'll be able to get back to you and clarify your questions if you have anything to be clarified in person. There was one question. We have 3 minutes. What would you suggest for me? I am from non-IT background and have no experience in either of them. Yeah, if you are in a non-IT background and you don't have experience in either of them, so Sri Ramani, I think a one-on-one discussion is definitely needed because I need to understand your core strengths and weaknesses. That way I will be able to guide you more. I need to assess your communication skills. How good are you with your studies, academics, and your learning abilities, based on which I'll be able to guide you. So the meeting link is in my above message. You'll be able to set up a meeting with me and we can discuss for 30 minutes. Any more last question? Because we have 2 more minutes. If you don't have any questions, we can end this webinar. And once again, there is a form given there. Please fill that form so that I know who all have attended the webinar and I'll be able to serve you better. Okay, thank you so much, guys. Let's meet again in the next Saturday webinar with a different topic. Okay, there is one question. Can you please set up a session for developers career path? Yeah, there is one session planned for that, Saranya. I'll be able to guide you on that.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Thank you so much, guys. It's pleasure to meet you all online in a webinar. We'll come with another topic next week. Bye.
Thank you, sir. Bye.